Hi, I'm Mark Small, Civil Discourse Now. It's a special edition, January 16th, 2025. I want people to understand something, that the electors, there's no phrase electoral college in the Constitution. The electors were created as a mechanism, as Alexander Hamilton explains in the Federalist 68, as a check against anyone who might have won election at the polls, but either is incompetent, corrupt, or under the influence of a foreign power. That was supposed to be a check on such things. The states effectively removed that. So you have winner take all, and in most states, the electors have to vote for the candidate they represented at the polls. Now, you read Federalist 68, Federalist 69, that Hamilton's describing how they're supposed to be able to confer and kind of veto that choice. So let's look at today. What do we have? One, we don't have a situation in which we're in some kind of awful shape in this country. Only if you've listened to Fox News. Fox News is kind of like what Joseph Goebbels in Germany in 1933 would have liked to have had as a communication with the people. Propaganda that has no content of truth. But unless you're listening to them or one of the even worse ones, you have to really look at how there is this flat, you got to vote the way the polls went and it's winner take all. Now, what do we have then? Because the framers understood that somebody could win at the polls, but not be appropriate to serve in office. And the electors are gone, so there has to be some way. The framers' intent was that there be some way, and political shenanigans removed that check. What is clear? One, on Monday, January 20th at noon, if Trump is allowed to take the oath of office, he will be a dictator. Now, please tell me how I'm not reading that correctly. Because one, I'm numbering these things, but I really don't like people to say, we own the libs, but it's because they've lied and gotten away with the lies. So please tell me how it is that Trump wouldn't be a dictator on Monday, January 20th at noon, if he's actually allowed to be sworn into office. Time's up. He will be. That's what he'll declare himself to be. Now, we are at war. We're being attacked. We haven't declared a war, but we are being invaded. The invasion has been ongoing since before the 2016 campaign. You're going to say, well, that's silly. I don't see no Russians on my shore. Actually, I'm sorry to make fun of people with that kind of an accent, but I shouldn't. That's not polite. But at this point, I really don't care if some people are offended. The thing is, Russia has engaged in a cyber invasion of the United States. Now, Amy Barrett on the Supreme Court, who lied herself onto the Supreme Court, kind of thinks I'm a little crazy for having said the Russians are invading this country. Cyber invasion is something for which the Pentagon devotes billions in its budget. We've attacked other countries and hacked their systems. I think we did that to Iran and Iraq. It's what Russia has done to us since before the 2016 elections. And that's a matter of congressional record because it was made part of, I cited in yesterday's podcast, or actually in yesterday's blog. So they've attacked the United States. They've created the state of emergency that's described in Executive Order 13848 that Trump signed into law in September 2019, I think it was, or 2018, and that President Biden reaffirmed. So what does that mean? It means that on the one hand, you've got Trump who's going to be a dictator, period. The only way he wouldn't be declaring himself dictator is if Putin said, get out of the way, I'm really a dictator. On the other hand, we have people saying, well, we don't want to declare a national emergency and not allow Trump to take office, even though he's unqualified under Amendment 14, Section 3, because there wouldn't be a peaceful transfer of government. There's going to be a dictatorship. If there's any peaceful transfer of government, don't let Trump and those people use that when they're the ones who are trying to overthrow the government. So President Biden has at his disposal emergency powers such that he can suspend the elections. But what about the Supreme Court? We'll get to that in a minute. Actually, probably tomorrow. Talk to you later.